Okay, so in my island update for you for this week, we're going to be talking about travel, and we're going to be talking about items which you either can or can't take aboard with you on your flight this summer. I also have an update for you regarding the squatters from over on the BelleVue Holiday Complex. You may well have seen my video about that just a few days ago. Plus, I have a weather forecast for the week ahead. Now, I'm filming this on the far side of Palma. We've got a little bit of a gloomy grey day here today, but is it going to be sunshine for the week ahead? Well, you're going to find out later on in this video. But we're going to start this video by talking about travelling, mainly on the low-cost airlines for this summer as well, and much of this information is going to apply to the other airlines too. But just as a little caveat, I am going to say don't forget to check before you travel. Check with the airline you're going to travel on as well for all the essential information, because it could vary between airlines. However, I'm just about getting ready to go away for a few days. I'm off to see the family in the UK. I'm downloading and printing my boarding passes, and normally, and I'm pretty much guessing it's the same for you guys, when you do want to get your boarding passes, you don't read the information, you just click, click, click and download those passes into your phone or print them off or whatever. So I thought I'd take a little bit of a closer look as to what you can or can't take on your flight with you if you're travelling in particular on easyJet or Ryanair for this summer. So the first thing I'm going to say is don't forget to look at the size of your baggage. If in doubt, Google cabin baggage size easyJet or cabin baggage size Ryanair or whatever airline you're travelling with, and just make sure that the size of your baggage actually meets those measurement requirements. Otherwise, like we've seen and like we've heard in the past, that people are then being asked to check in their luggage and pay a hefty price for that. So just make sure first of all that your luggage meets those requirements. But I do have some quite interesting news, particularly if you're coming over to Mallorca or anywhere actually on the low-cost airlines on holiday this summer, but you are travelling over for a wedding, whether it's your wedding or you're just a guest at the wedding. So I'm just looking at easyJet's information here, and this is super important. They have stated that if you would like to bring a wedding outfit on board the plane, you'll need to have a large cabin allowance. And the same goes as well for suits, and you can take your suit aboard in one of those like fold-up suit bags. They say your suit carrier doesn't need to meet our usual cabin bag dimensions as long as it can be easily stored and folded in an overhead locker. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, has anyone actually done this and not then had to check in their suit or their wedding dress or whatever? Because last October I did travel through the airport, and the easyJet staff did have that cabin bag size out, and they were measuring the size of people's bags. So have you been over for a wedding? Have you then been forced to check in your wedding dress or your suit? Let me know in comments. I'd be really keen to know. But I'm going to drop a link to this particular area of their website as well for you to maybe screenshot and to check as well before you travel, just in case they go and update those rules. So I guess if you are taking your wedding dress with you on holiday this summer, as long as you can fold it up in one of those suit bags and just slide it into the overhead lockers, then I guess it will be accepted. But I'm not quite sure about that. So let me know how you go this summer. Now, regarding Ryanair, they don't mention that you can actually do this. It doesn't say anywhere on the website that if you are getting married, that you can take a suit or you can take a wedding dress in a suit bag and pop it up into the overhead lockers. They do have a very strict cabin baggage size, and I do believe as well that you're going to have to make sure that whatever you take on board does meet those sizes, because we have seen some very fierce staff on the boarding process, getting onto planes and forcing people to check in their luggage too. So make sure, if you're travelling Ryanair, and indeed many of the other carriers as well, even if it's Air Europa as well, they've been checking bag sizes too. Everyone's getting in on the action. It's not just easyJet and Ryanair. Just make sure that your luggage will fit into that size. If not, check it in. Okay, so what else should you be aware of if you're travelling this summer on any airline? Well, the next thing I'm going to talk about is lithium batteries. Now, there's a whole big rule about lithium batteries that you really cannot put them into your hold luggage. Anything with a lithium battery, you have to carry it on board in your hand luggage. And you're going to find a lithium battery in certain cameras, in professional cameras, in laptop computers. And this is because a lithium battery is essentially a fire risk, and it's because of the huge amount of energy that they store. They have proved to be a fire risk in the past, and this is why these need to be carried on board with you. You'll also know as well when the plane is preparing for takeoff that an announcement does come onto the tannoy saying that if you do have electronic items that do get very hot, to let a member of the cabin crew know, and that's because of these lithium batteries. So please, whatever you do not check them into hold luggage, because you could actually risk having these items taken out of your hold luggage, and well, cameras and laptops aren't particularly cheap, so just bear that in mind. This also applies as well for the new trend in travel, which is smart luggage, and this is suitcases that have built-in trackers to them as well, and also like charging points on the suitcases as well. If they are lithium battery powered, just make sure you disconnect that power source before you check it into your hold luggage, or you may well find that your suitcase has indeed been left behind as well, or particularly if you're taking it on board and you're going through airport security and that gets detected, you'll be asked to remove that and disconnect it from that baggage as well. easyJet even goes as far to say as well, so if you are unable to remove it from your luggage, then we won't be able to accept the bag on board. So once again, this is really super important. Cyclists, I also have news for you as well. This is particularly relevant if you're coming over to Mallorca on a cycling holiday. Bike boxes, check the weight of your bike box before you travel, because most of the check-in luggage that you do get, particularly with a low-cost airline, you're going to have a 20 kilogram limit. You do get a bit more on Jet too, but many of the airlines have figured out that these bike boxes can actually weigh a lot more than 20 kilos, so they are being weighed when you do check them in. And for those of you as well, and this is just a warning, those of you checking in your bike box and then when you actually check it in and you're asked to take your bike box to the oversized area, the oversized luggage area of the airport, to then drop it off, don't go sneaking other bits of items into that bike box, because airlines are also catching on to that as well. And these items also being weighed again before actually being put through onto the conveyor belts before they're shipped onto the plane. So watch you don't get caught out. That's just a word of warning for you. But of course, all the airlines do list the obvious stuff that you can't take aboard with you. We're talking about knives, sharp items, anything remotely explosive as well. Things like fireworks or anything that can cause a fire or cause smoke in the cabin as well. Don't forget, you're not allowed to take those aboard. This also includes weapons too. It does sound obvious, but parents, if you are travelling with your child and they do have a toy gun, don't be tempted to carry that in your cabin baggage with you if you're going through the airport, because you will be stopped at security. Anything that resembles a gun will be taken out of your bag, and I think your child may well be left a little bit upset if a security staff member does take that away from them. So just don't carry that in your cabin baggage if you're getting onto a plane for really obvious reasons. So with regards to taking sharp items on board, this is really interesting, because post 9/11 it was almost like you couldn't take any kind of liquid or sharp item on board a flight with you, but easyJet does say that you can take tweezers and blades shorter than 6 centimetres onto their planes. Does this apply to Ryanair? Well, probably, because I accidentally took my little teeny tiny penknife with me a few summers ago. I packed it into my hand luggage by accident, and well, that got through okay, but the blades on that are absolutely tiny, so that was actually let through. Cigarettes and e-cigarettes, what are the rules surrounding those? Well, the first thing is that yes, you can take cigarettes into your cabin bags, because obviously, well, they sell them in duty free, but don't forget to check out the limits on cigarettes that you can take back to your home country. It does vary depending on whereabouts in the world you are travelling to, so make sure you check out the limitations on how much tobacco you can actually carry with you before you travel. Two things to bear in mind. Firstly, you're not allowed to take matches aboard with you, but you are allowed to take a cigarette lighter, but you have to keep that in your pocket. This is according to easyJet, by the way. You can also take e-cigarettes with you. Also, as a quick reminder as well, you can't smoke aboard a flight, even vaping. No vaping is allowed. I have seen on a Ryanair flight before, but they do have sensors on these flights as well, and you're going to get into loads of trouble as well, with the possibility of the Guardia Civil being called called as well to haul you off that flight at the other end if you are getting caught smoking if you are flying into Spain. So like I said as well, watch out for that. And also recharging any kind of vapes or e-cigarettes or anything like that is strictly forbidden aboard a flight too. So also just bear those really important points in mind. And finally, the final really important point when you're travelling this spring and this summer is that the 100 millilitre liquid rule is still in place. You'll see that we've had all these like big fancy upgrades over at the airports, but the security machines that we do have, although you can keep everything in your bag as you're going through security, you don't have to separate liquids anymore. They still only have this limit on 100 millilitres per liquid item in your bag. Don't take any more than 10 items with you. You don't have to take them any more in a clear plastic bag, but keep those limits in place and just keep them limited to 100 millilitres per item. Otherwise, once again, they will be taken out of your bag. And this is until further notice. I'm hoping we may get some good news about that, maybe as we roll into the summer or beyond. Maybe they'll have developed the technology to allow you to take more with you, but who knows? Watch this space. Okay, so the sun is trying to come out over here on the west side of Palma, still looking a little bit cloudy, but we're going to just move on now. We're going to kind of visually head on back up to Alcudia. You may remember in one of my videos published just a few days ago, I talked about the squatters over at the BelleVue Holiday Complex. It's a Blue Bay property over on the Alcudia strip. Now, I do have some good news for you, because I did point out that in one of the blocks on the BelleVue Complex, this had been broken into and it was being occupied by squatters. And I think there are around 50 squatters there. Now, pretty much almost as soon as that video was published, a couple of days after, on the Monday morning, security staff did go around, the Guardia Civil did go around, and the eviction process did pretty rapidly get underway. And these people are now being asked to leave the property, and they're not being convicted of any damage or any kind of damage against the property if they do leave, and I do believe it's before more or less the end of February. So I can see that this property now is going to be emptied, which will leave around a month to get those properties done up and ready for the summer. Also, as well, if you're thinking about staying over there this summer, maybe go back and check some of the comments, not only there, but also on the Facebook group as well. I did have some very varying comments. Some people absolutely loved it, other people hated it. Some people called it Hellview and a bit of a dump. Other people said it was absolutely fantastic. So there is a very wide-ranging opinion on this particular holiday area here in Mallorca. Just bear in mind though, you do get what you pay for. It is only a 3-star property, so if you are booking a holiday over there, do not expect 4-star accommodation on a 3-star property. But at the same time, go and check the comments on that video too, and also you can just get an initial glimpse and an overview about what that property does look like. But hopefully, like I said, I'll be back there in the spring to go and check it out when it has been done up and it has reopened. Okay, so moving on to the weather forecast for the week ahead, we can see that we've had a little bit of a cloudy start to the week over here in Mallorca, and we've been enjoying some absolutely lovely temperatures over here, and these are set to continue with an unseasonal high of 20 degrees Celsius and evening lows of 8. We're also expecting a chance and the possibility of showers during midweek too, so watch out for those. It could all clear up as well, and also it depends where you are on the island as well, because some parts of the island may not have showers and other areas of the island may well get rain, so watch out for that. I'm hoping though, as we head on to the following weekend, that cloud is going to clear and we're going to have a return to the sunshine. But like I said, it's out of season, we're in winter here, and we do get very mixed weather. So if you are coming over, I say it every week, bring lots of layers. This week, bring a brolly too, just in case as well, and travel safe. And don't forget as well, make sure you watch out as to what you're bringing on the plane if you are traveling over. Okay, everyone, like I said, I will be traveling this week, so watch out for my flight video. If it's already published, I shall put that flight video just here on YouTube. I'll also put another video just here on YouTube as well for you to check out. In the meantime, you can find me on the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.